Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bhayata Nishacharachamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Raman Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittarayastada Bhautame Bhorama Mamuddhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane Ayun Rulruk Ayong Ayauch Hayavarat Lan Yamananam Jabanj Garadash Jabagaradash Kapha Cha Cha Tha Cha Chatav Kapai Shashasar Hal Iti Maheshwara Sutrani. Okay, last time I think we were looking at this form called Ujjamana. If you look at the text we had last time, we did it kind of towards the end. She was being carried. So Ujjamana Iva, as if they were being carried by the narrations of Vishwamitra. So that's why we were at that point. Now the word Ujja, actually I realized in Gita there's a similar word called Prochamana Asheshena. If you look at Gita chapter 18, number 29, let's go there for a second. See a very similar form being used, a different dhatu, but very similar form, Prochamanam Asheshena. I said too many times before, if you know the Gita Vyakaranam well, generally you will not be that lost anywhere else. So number 29 in the 18th chapter of the Gita, he says, Prochamanam Asheshena Prataktvina Dhananjaya. So all the three kinds of buddhi and dhriti. So Prochamanam. So it says Buddher Bhedam Dhriteshchaiva Gunatas Tribidam Shunu. Listen to the varieties of, I guess, intellects and also resolutions as per the gunas. So, which has been described here completely and variously also, Dhananjaya. So, Prochamanam Bhedam Shunu. So, Prochamanam is Pra-Uchyamanam. So, Prochamanam. So that's 1829. We'll put that in the document here as 1829. But I mentioned to you last time, this Om of O becoming Pluta is 8287, is special sutram. When you chant Om as the beginning word, that O becomes Pluta. Okay. Again, let me see. I think sometimes the font in this one goes away. So let me try to do it again here. Okay, I think we're okay. So, Prochamanam Asheshena, let me put that in here. So that comes in 18.29. So, Prochamanam. Now that is equal to basically Pra plus Uchyamana. Now here the dhatu is, instead of what we have in Raghuvamsham with dhatu Vah, well here we have the dhatu Vach. So the root is Vach, but this is a very similar process happening here, which you have the Samprasaranam taking place. And as I mentioned to you in the class last time, there are mainly two sutras which talk about which dhatus can take Samprasaranam. And the one is the let me see if I can find the, okay, I think I didn't save that page. Okay, so on Kalpejji's page you have all these links. So the one for the complete Ashtadhyayi is the one that you want to use to get the Ashtadhyayi, to get the vrittis of all the sutras. But here in 6.1.15.16, Panini mentions 20 dhatus, 11 plus 9. And they are the main ones. There are some below that also. There's some details below that, as usual the Panini style, to give the main sutra first and then next some details below. So Vachi, Swapi, Yajadi, Nankiti, and then Grahi, Ja, Vayi, Vyadhi, Vashti, Vichati, Vrishchati, Prichati. So these are the other 9 coming in the 6.1.16. But that 6.1.16 is Brijjati Nam Niticha. So 6115, they take Samprasaranam only Kiti. While the 6116 list, they take Samprasaranam in Kiti and Niti. So either so the Pratyaya following has to have a Ka as an It for 6115 to apply. For 6116 to apply, it can be either Ka or the Panchama Varna, Ka, Ka, Ga, Gha, Nga. Like Nga as an It could be there. So what we have is in Gita Prochamanam we have the Dhatu Vach, which is the very first one listed in the Vachi Sapi Yajadinam. That's very obvious. In the Raghuvamsha, what we had is the Dhatu Vah, and that Dhatu Vah comes as part of the Yajadinam. Yajadinam are the last 9 dhatus of Bhuvadi are Yajadi. I think you already have it in the document from last time. Let us go there. So last time we were looking at, I think I put in the document, is the what is Samprasaranam is defined in 1145. Igyanas Samprasaranam. So actually the Samprasaranam is, the process is called Samprasaranam. Also the ik which comes in place of yan, that letter is also called Samprasaranam. So it's a sanya for the prakriya and also for that varna which comes, the ig letter which comes. That's also called Samprasaranam. So Samprasaranam is like the opposite of yan, as I mentioned last time. So flip side of yan is Samprasaranam. So 6115, the Vah is contained in the Yajadi, so last 9 roots in the Vadi Ganaha. So that's what causes, so the same sutram, Vachi Sapi Yajadi Nam Kiti. So what we just refreshed last time one more time, we had the Dhatu Vah, plus we use Lat in the passive. So we have the Vartamane letter. And then the next sutram, if you want to form a participle, if you want to form a present participle, the next sutram which says that Lata Shatrishanacha Prathama Samanadhikarane. So Lat can take the Shatra Shanach as an Adesha, but not in Prathama Samadhikarane. That's a bit of a problem for us because right now we do have Prathama, because Ujyamana. So in the Shloka and Raghuvamsha we have Ujyamana. So that is a Prathama Ekavachanam, Ujyamanaha Iva, Prathama Ekavachanam. Now one way out of that is that we can, if you look at the 731, sorry, the 32, 123, 124, there is the Lat Anurutti is coming down. In spite of that, Panini uses the word Lat again. So that is used as an excuse, I should say, or whatever, to do the Atidesha, to extend it. Because 3 to 123 is Vartamane Lat. 3 to 124, again, Lataha Shatrishana Chau. So that, was not necessary. To easily say Shatrishana Chau only could have been said. So if you look at the vritti on that, we'll go there for a second. If you look at the vritti on 3 to 124, I think Kashika will say that, that sometimes even Prathama Samadhikarane, the Shatra and Shanach can be used. So that's, you have to remember that. So don't get completely put off by that condition of Aprathama Samadhikarane. Because sometimes, even in Gita also it comes, I will go to Gita for a second. But it says, look at the Kashika, it says, Punar Lat iti Vartamane, means Lat Anuvritti was coming down. Punar Lat Grahanam, Adhika Vidhanartham. So Adhika Vidhanartham means to extend that a little bit more. Kvachit Prathama Samadhikarane api bhavati, San Brahmanaha, Asti Brahmanaha. So that's also possible. In fact, in Gita, you have a big shloka in the 5th adhyaya. Pashyan, Shrinvan, Svishan, Jigran, Nashnan, Gachan, Sapanshvasan, Parapan, Decision, Grindhan, Nunmishan, Nimishan, Napi, Indriyani, Indriyarteshu, Vartanti, Dharayan. So all these are Prathama only in Gita. In the 5th adhyaya, these are all Shatru Pratyas. I mean, they're all Prathama Ekvachanam, Pullingam. So that number is number 8 and 9. So this all is Pashyan, Shrinvan, Sprishan, Jigran, Nashnan, Gachan, Sapan, Shvasan, Pradapan, Visijan, Grindhan, Nunmishan, Nimishan, Napi. All of these are Prathama Ekavachanam of the using Shatru Pratyaya. So that's what we have to use, that extension. Or the other way out is that there are a couple of sutras below that which can also, you may try to fit into that. That's another way of justifying that one. Lakshana hetavoho is there kriyaha. So we can maybe try that. But in any case, my point is that don't take that Pratama Samadhikarani as an absolute condition. That is, sometimes you can do it with Samadhikarani also. Okay, like we have right now. Now the question was that, we have Shatru and Shanash. We have two pratyas to choose from. Now which one do we use? Clearly the Shanash is being used over here. Now why Shanash and why not Shatru? Because this is a passive construct. In the passive, what happens is that, so because this was passive, every passive is Atmanipadam. This has very, very few, actually it has no exception in according to Panini, but sometimes literature you will find, I think Bhagavatam, 2-3 places, maybe you can find it, but 99.9% you can rely on this rule, which is 1-3-13, is Bhava Karmanoho. Let's go there for a minute. And that says that every passive form this is very good when you want to make an educated guess of what is going on. Remember this rule, that if it is not Atmanepadam, it is not passive. As simple as that. So if it's not Atmanepadam, it is not passive. It cannot be passive. Because in the one single pada of the Ashtadhyayi, Panini talks about the Pada Vyavastha. When to use Atmanepadam, when to use Parasmanepadam. That is all discussed in 1.3. 1.3, starting from the 1.3.12, Anudattanyata Atmanepadam. So Pani talks about when should you use Atmanepada affixes, when should you use Parasmanepada affixes. Of course, this only applies to dhatus. Which upasargas maybe you can use Atmanepadam, which Parasmanepadam. Then when you use causative, when you use desiderative, what changes take place, what meaning. Sometimes the meaning will dictate to change the padam. All that is in this section. So when you have any question which affix to use, come to this section, 1.3. Okay, 1.3 from 1.3.12. But for the first few sutra, which most of them are Itvidaka Sutra, which we already know. After that starts this section on the Pada Vyavastha. So 1.3.12. And within that, just quickly give you a small tour of that, is from 1.3.12. Starts the Anudattanyata Atmanipadam. And then in the middle, he'll start with the, will be in the, from 1.3.78 is Sheshat Kartari Parasmanepadam. Sheshat Kartari Parasmanepadam. So the default is Parasmanepadam. Every dhatu will take only Parasmanepada affixes all the time as a default because of Sheshat. Sheshat Kartari Parasmanepadam. So unless specifically these sutras from 1.3.12 to 1.3.81 tell you otherwise, sorry, from 1.3.12 to 1.3.77 tell you otherwise, you're going to use Parasmanepadam. But there are many rules with Atmanepadam we use, and and also within that from 1.3.72 is the Ubhayapadi, because Sarita Nyataha Kartravipraye Kriyaphale. So these ones from 72 to 77, they are mostly going to be the Ubhayapadi affixes, which means you can use either one or the other. So that's from 72 to 77. From 78 on is Parasmanepadam. But the big section is from 1.3.12 to this 71, which talks about the Atmanepada, when Atmanepadam can be used. Because default is Parasmanepadam, everything else has to be spelled out. And Parasmanepadam cannot be used. So maybe let's maybe go to a document for a second, put that down here. Because we want to use the Shanach affix, we don't want to use Shatru Pratyaya. So why are we doing that? So the entire 1.3.12 to end of 1.3 is the Pada Vyavastha. So I'm hopefully as the weeks and months pass by, I think you can get a hang of the Ashtadhyayi. That really is required to become a master of this language. We really want to. There's no other way out. You have to somehow get used to it. At least know enough to look it up on your own. So to end of is the Pada Vyavastha. Pada Vyavastha means whether to use Atmanipada affixes or Parasnipada affixes is what is described over here. And if you know it is there, you can always go there and look it up. It's not that hard. The hard part is knowing what is where, Pada Vyavastha. And within that, we just went through that, is that from 1.3.12 starts the Anudatta Nyata Atmanipadam, I think to 71. We saw the Atmanipada Vidhanam, which means when can we use, when do we have to use the Atmanipada affixes, Atmanipada Vidhanam. And then after that we have the Ubhayapada Vidhanam from 72 to 77. So 1.3.72 to 77 is the Ubhayapada Vidhanam. And then finally from 78 to the end is the Sheshat Kartari Parasmaipadam. So remember this section, please. We will, and that's the only section in the Ashtadhyaya, really. So there's no other. The good thing about this section is that, since there's only one place, it's easy to go and find it. Okay, and so remaining, I've just put remaining 78 onwards is the Parasnipadam. Now, which one do we need here? Is we need to come up with something, because since default is always Atmanipadam, default is always Parasnipadam. Therefore, we need to find something to make it Atmanipadam. And the very important sutram there, I shouldn't say most important, very important one is the 1.3.13, which says the Bhavakarmanoho. Bhavakarmanoho. So Bhavakarmanoho says that is in Bhava means the impersonal passive, or the Karma means in passive. We have to use Atmanipada affixes. So by Bhavakarmanoho, remember that sutram, very important sutram, and as I mentioned, that really doesn't have any exceptions. It's a very useful rule, because in this language there are always so many exceptions, but this particular one holds 99.9% of the time. If it is not Atmanipada, it's not passive. So Bhavakarmanoho, in the passive you have to use Atmanipada. So 1.3.13 is the one that we used. Now how do we know that, that the Shatras cannot be used, only Shanich can be used Atmanipadam? So in our case, we used, we have a passive form, we have a passive construct. So we use 1.3.13. Construct, so use 1.3.13. Now, normally anything which comes in place of the la is supposed to be Parasnipadam, laf Parasnipadam, but Tangana Atmanipadam. So any la adesha, all the tiptas, ji, including the shatras, shatras, they'll all become Parasnipadam by default. But then below that it says Tang Ana Atmanipadam. The Tang is the last 9, the ta, atam, jha, thas, atam, dham, ij, vahi, mahing. So those 9. And also the ana pratyas. Now ana means include the shanach, kanach. So there are 2-3 kinds of anas. In our case we have shanach. So that tells us that the shanach is going to be used in the Atmanipadam, and then the other one, which is the shatra, will be used in Parasnipadam. So those are 1.4.99 and 1.4.100. So laf Parasnipadam, Tangana Atmanipadam. Laf Parasnipadam, Tangana Atmanipadam. So 1.4.99, 100. So that is what it comes here. So in our case, Tang and Anav, the Ana is a, see when Pani says Ana, it will include the Shanach, Kanach, etc. So it will be, so when the specific it is not mentioned, it will include all of them. For example, the Pani says Lasya, it will include all the Lakaras. Even right here, Laf Parasnipadam. So all means lat, lit, lut, lut, lot, lung, lin, they'll all come. Because only lasya is being mentioned, la. So all the L's will come. Similarly, all the anas will come. So when Panini does like this samanya vidhanam, it will include the, I think there's a paribhasha for that. Niranubandha grahane, sanubandhakanam grahanam. Means that nir anubandha grahane. When you don't put the anubandha, the specific anubandha, and then it becomes a sanubandhanam api grahanam bhavati. So it includes the one which all the specific anubandhas, they all come together, So when he says ana, it includes shanaj, kanaj, etc. So 1 for 100 will tell us that the ana is to be used in the, so by 1 for 100, we conclude that the shanaj is the atmanipadi pratyaya, is atmanipadam. So shanaj is atmanipadam. So then that's how we finally decided to use that. So because yes, last time we kind of ran out of time a little bit. So I just want to complete that form before we go on to today's shloka. So atma nepadam. I hope this document is helping all of you, because to spending time in the class to make sure it is correct, and atma nepadam. Okay, so now, we'll go back to last week's again. So we ended up with we had dhatu vah plus shanach. So we use that 3 to 124. Letashatra prathama samanadhikarane. And then we had to use one of these two. Then we decided by 1-3-13, because of the bhava karmanoho, only passive, only apanipadam has to be used in the passive. And then we decided that tangana atmanepadam. Then we got the anach apanipadam. So we got shanach. And now what happens is that we have to use 3-167, which says sarvadhatuke yak. So when the sarvadhatuka pratyaya follows, then this yak comes as a default all the time. So we are more used to the kartari shap. So really shap is an apavada, because sarvadhatuke yak is the default pratyaya which comes in when the pratyaya following is sarvadhatuka. Now what is sarvadhatukam? Ting shit sarvadhatukam adadhatukam sheshaha. I think by this time all of you know that. So by 3-167 is sarvadhatuke yak. Most of the time we use this kartari shap, I shouldn't say, but many times, because that is kartari shap. That also requires sarvadhatuke. So when you get a form like bhavati, that's the kartari shap. When you say anubhuyate, that's the passive, then you get the sarvadhatuke yak. But it's only sarvadhatuke, mind you. So if it's not sarvadhatuke, even if it's passive, see, Praya Sutram has bhava karmanoho. So bhava karmanoho sarvadhatuke yak. So in the passive forms, you have to use the yak, but only sarvadhatuke. The pratyaya following is not sarvadhatukam, then you will not have this so-called passive marker, yak. Give a quick Gita example, So you have to be careful. But still, you will have only atmanipadam. You will have only atmanipadam. Ninth chapter, first shloka. What is Shri Bhagavan Uvacha? Idam tute gujyatamam pravakshyamyana suyave jnanam vijnanam setam yajñatva mokshase shubhat. Mokshase shubhat. This mokshase, is it active or passive? Really, there's no way to, because mokshase, but look at the atmanipada ending mokshase, because this is a future tense. The pratyaya sya comes in there, and the sya is not a sarvadhataka pratyaya, because ting shit sarvadhatukam adadhatukam sheshaha. The pratyaya sya is in the sheshaha, so that will become ardhadhatuka. So here in mokshase, the yak could not come over here. So only thing that you have to go by, look at the atmanipada ending, and of course the meaning of the shloka. Yajñata, so hey Arjuna, you will be released from evil. You will be released. Not that you will release, but you will be released. So, of course the meaning, and look at the other vibhaktis, we can do all that. But the bottom line is that there is no real clear indication that this has to be passive, because you don't have the sarvadhatuke following. So you have to go, but you still will have atmanipadam. So that's, if it's not atmanipadam, one more time, if it's not atmanipadam, it is not passive. So, but if it's atmanipadam, it may be passive. So this one is passive. So, but in our case, we do have the shanach following, and the shanach is a shit pratyaya, so it is tingshit sarvadhatukam, so sarvadhatuke yak. So this These are steps you have to follow when creating any passive form. Let me go back to my document. Okay, so that's what we did. So we got the pratyaya yak, and once we got the yak, we got a tit pratyaya over here. That's what's going to start doing the samprasaranam. Because of vachi, sapi, yajadi, nam, kiti. The kit pratyaya has now come. And that's going to go samprasaranam. Now, igyanas samprasaranam. Now, how do you know which one you do samprasaranam to? But remember that only a yan can undergo samprasaranam. There's only one yan in that dhatu vah. Because you have va, aha, vah. So only vakara is the only yan over there. So clearly that's the only one which can take samprasaranam in place of va, because igyanas. So you can do yatha sankham. You can do the, actually you can even do the, actually better to do the sthanyantra tamaha. Sthanyantra tamaha. Take the closest substitute. So the va and the va is dantya oscha, the u is oscha. So that u is going to win the battle. So will be the closest substitute. So then we get the u plus a, because the va equals va plus a. So then you got u, which is samprasaranam. The a is still there, and then ha, ya plus ana. Now, between u and a, actually yan sandhi praptaha. So we start doing yan sandhi. We will go back to the va again. That will defeat the purpose of the entire samprasaranam. If you do the yan sandhi just after samprasaranam, it will defeat the whole purpose of samprasaranam. Just like Panini has a sutram which says samprasaranachya 61108. Let's go to that for a second. 61108. So the moment samprasaranam is done, between that samprasarana vowel and the following vowel, there is a ekadeshaha, which is the pururupam. Pururupam ekadeshaha. So that is what stops the yan sandhi, and only the samprasarana vowel remains. The samprasaranachya says that, so when you do samprasaranam, between the samprasaranam vowel and the following vowel, there is an ekadesha, pura parayoho ekadesha of the pururupam. So only the u remains between the two. U plus a will become u only. And the way to remember this rule is that, as I mentioned to you, otherwise you will go back to what you had. If you start doing yan sandhi between u and a, you will go back to va. That will make the samprasaranam, vyartham syat. It will become useless. So there has to be something here to help you out, to make the, leave the u behind, and, the a should be, absorbed in that. So then you get uya plus ana. The last rule is anemuk. Anemuk. Anemuk says that if you have adanta anga ending in a, that takes the muk agama when the ana follows. The pratyaya ana is very well behaved, and it is very easy to decline also, because ending in akara becomes like a ramavat or vanavat or sita ramavat. So very easy to decline, very straightforward. Unlike shatru, which has some, it will end in takara. You'll have to do some other rule. This one is easy. There are only one or two rules where this one takes. So let's go to 7 to 82. For 1 second. 7 to 82 is anemuk. So, like, vartamana, yajamana. So anemuk is also as a caution for you. Sometimes this anemuk is not honored, because the way they justify that is that agama shastram anityam is what they say. Agama shastram anityam. Any agama is anityam. Of course, this is like, we should not do this kind of things. But if you see, like, they say what a chintayana, so chintayamana it should be, but chintayana it becomes. So sometimes this anemuk is not honored, because they say agama shastram anityam. Remember, anemuk only comes when you have the adanta anga, okay? Otherwise you will not get it. Like a word like kurvanaha. Now, kurvanaha, you have the kuru, that's the ending in u, so it's not adanta anga. You will not get anemuk. Anemuk requires the anuvritti of ataha is coming down there. So muk agama takes place. You get the, so the anga will take the muk agama, and will take the angam will take muk agama. It become uyam ana, uyamana. Now the only other sutra, if you look at the anuvritti of this ane, there are only two sutras here, which is ane muk and idasaha. Udasina, vadasinam, asina. So this word asina comes in Gita in a few places. So these are the only two extra operations for the ana. The ane muk and idasaha. That idasa is only for dhatu as, to sit, comes asinam. So otherwise the ana pratyaya is very well behaved. You don't have to worry about anything extra. Just add it and you are done with it. So ane muk, so 7 to 82 we used. We get the muk agama, become ujyamanaha. And as I said, you can practice on the Gita to get the word prochamanam is same as pra uchyamana. The only thing in dhatu what you had dhatu vah. So when you see the mana ending, you know most likely what you are doing is this: is that muk agama has come, pratyashanuch has come. It may be passive. It may also be atmanipadam dhatu like labhamana, rabhamana. So atmanipadam does not mean always passive, but the other way around is that every passive is atmanipadam. So to be passive, it has to be atmanipadam. Okay, so that's lesson, also very important lesson. So we just finished last time's form because we kind of ran out of time last time. I wanted to give you this whole prakriya. So ujyamanam is being carried, as if so being carried. So go back to the verse. We see ujyamanaha iva, and this is a passive construct. So then you require a karta which is in tritiya now. So pura vritta kathitaihi ujyamanaha iva. So he was like as if he was being carried away by these narrations of prior events of Vishwamitra. So he didn't even notice that he was walking on foot. So that was the last look. Let's do this one today. Okay, let's start with number 11 now. Tau Saransi Rasavad. Just excuse the book, a little bit of a smudge over here. Rasavadbhirambubhihi kujitai shruti sukhaihi patatrinaha vayavasurabhi pushparenubhishchayaya cha jaladastishe vireya. Tau Saransi Rasavadbhirambubhihi kujitai shruti sukhaihi patatrinaha vayavasurabhi pushparenubhishchayaya cha jaladastishe. Okay, so look at the commentary. Padacheda has already been done for you, and Padanvaya has also been done for you. Tau Saransi Rasavadbhi, then Ambubhi Sishevire, and Patatrinaha, so you can Shruti Sukhaihi, again Sishevire. Then, Suti Sukhaihi Kujitaihi Sishevire, and Vayavaha Surabhi Pushparenubhi Jaladaha Chayayacha Sishevire. So an example where the single verb Sishevire is being used, connected in 2-3 places. Sishevire, Sishevire, Sishevire. So let's attack the verb first, which is, what is this verb Sishevire? Here's a simple rule for you. See, if you see the ire ending in a verbal form, you can almost 100% say this is going to be a third person plural atmanipada lit. There is only one ire ending in all these verbal affixes. The tiptaji, those 18. So ire. Okay, let's what verse 11, right? Let me just put that in the document. Okay, so verse 11 and so the ire ending, remember this rule for today, when you say, ire ending is, you can almost always say, I should say, I don't know of any other way this ire can come about. Ire tells us that it's that this is third person. This is not in Gita. This ire is not in Bhagavad Gita. The third person singular, Atmane Padi, I can say Atmane Padam, lit form, lit. So very easy. Even if you don't know anything else, if you just know this much, you can close your eyes and you can say that is the case. This comes in Purusha Suktam. It comes Gavo Hajjadnire Tasmaat, were like Remire, Lebire. So that here you have Sishevire. So this ire ending. So mark that ire ending. Now where does the ire ending come? How do we know this ire comes from where? So what is the default ending for Atmanepadam? Is ta, atam, ja. Also I mentioned a few times the lit is going to be only third person 99% of the time. The moment if you think it is lit, it is not third person, you're most likely wrong. The lit is only going to be third person 99% of the time. In Gita, you do have one shloka which you have the first person. Arjuna Vacha says in the first adhyaya. So he said, Narake niyatam vasa bhavatitanu shushruma. That's the one rare exception to this rule, but 99% of the time it's going to be only third person. That's also simple to remember. If it's not third person, it is not lit. So now, so we have ta, atam, ja. So we have to have some sutram which makes the ja into ire. Ja into ire. And see, I mentioned to all these lakara sambandhi adeshaha, they come in the end of 3.4. I think hopefully if I repeat this enough times, you will all get it, become second nature for you. That's how it became for me also. My teachers, repeat this like 1,000 times, so it became like, even in my sleep I could recite these, some of these sutras. So the litas tajayor esh irej, litaha tajayor esh irej, yatha sankham. So when you have lit adesha, you have the ta and the ja, ta jayor, which is the first, third person singular and plural. You get the adesha of esh or irej. So that will come in 3.4, end of 3.4. All these sutra, which is lakar sambandhi adesha. There are two sections for adesha. One is beginning of 7.1. That's adeshas for everything. Not only for Tinganta, but Subanta also a lot of adeshas, or all kind of adeshas come in the beginning of 7.1. Pratyaya adesha. So Sarvesham Pratyayanam adeshaha vidyante tatra. But in the end of 3.4, only for those tip dashji, that the ting pratyahara which was given there, and there will come all these adeshas for which are based on the lakara only. Since we're doing this adesha of ire based on the lit lakara, it's going to be in 3.4. I think 81, sorry. Litaha, tajayor, esh and irej. In the irej, the chakara is halantyam, is for Vedic swara. See the chas and it, the pers and it, the las and it, sometimes nas and it. These have all Vedic implications, for the swara, which we're not going to study in this class. We're not going to study that. All these sutras come in the end of 6.1 and the entire 6.2. So for this class, the entire 6.2 is blacked out for us, because it only talks about how to put the swaras in the Vedic mantras, which we're not doing here. And the entire end of 6.1, also it is the same thing. So you can we can almost blank out this section. Let me tell you that. So, but if you really want to find out what that chas and it means, you would have to go there and look at the sutra and find out. So from 6.1, I think around, let's see, it is let's see, this one, 6.1.158. Anudatam padam ekavarjam. From 6.1.158, Anudatam padam ekavarjam. From that all the way to end of 6.2, you can blank out, because it's not for us. because that is, and again, I must tell you that very few people in the world today know about that. Very few means very, very few, very, very few. Particularly, unfortunately, most people, and for those who chant, don't do the Vyakaranam. Those who do the Vyakaranam, they don't do chanting. So maybe only in some Vyakarana Pathshalas, which are becoming mostly extinct nowadays anyway, there might be somebody who might be studying this section from 6.158 to end of 6.2. So I'll put that here. So because why am I mentioning? Because the irech has the halantyam, which is going to make that cha as an it by halantyam. So cha is an it by halantyam. So cha is a marker, or is an it, I should say, and that is by the sutram halantyam, which is going to be in 133. Upadesha aj ananasika it and halantyam. So 133, and then the implications would be in the section of implication would be is in the section from 6.1, I think was 158, right? 158 to end of 6.2, which is the Vaidika Swara Prakriya. End of 6.2 is the what we can call the Vaidika Swara Prakriya, which we will not be doing in this class, Swara Prakriya. But if you want to, you can scan that and you can get some help over there. Okay, so for us, the cha and it. Okay, Pushpa has a question. Pushpa, yes.
Satish?
Yes.
Should that be third person plural? Because I'm
Yes,
looking at...
yes, plural. I'm
yeah.
sorry. Thank you, yes, thank you. By the way, yes.
Okay.
So thank you. So I said, third person plural, I don't know. Anyway, the ja is plural because tajayor is. Thank you. But the Pushpaji has been studying with me for the last 13 years, at Bijwar temple and everywhere. So she's like the mother of the class, I always say. Pushpaji is the mother of the class. She takes care of all the students. So anyway, thank you. So she was studying before I was, so she's senior to me in this endeavor. Okay, so it is plural. It is not singular because the tajayor eshirech, so the ja is plural. Okay. So Vaidika Swara Prakriya will not be doing. So ire is left behind. It's anekal adeshaha. So anekal is sarvasya. It's going to replace the entire ja. And so we're going to get the, now we won't do all the steps. The dhatu is actually shevru. Shevru. In the dhatu part, we look at the dhatu. In the dhatu part, always look at what the dhatu part is in dhatu, because that will pass on some instructions to you. So don't ignore the it letters from dhatu. If you look in the English dictionaries, you will not get the information because they will not put those it letters. But if you look at the Paniya dhatu part, dhatu is shevru sevane. So, shevru sevane. So this is a rare typo I see in this book. This book, which is published for the Madhaviya Dhatu Vritti of the Ramlal Kaput, it has very few typos. I think this might be a typo. It says Shevru Sechane. Okay. It says in the sense of sprinkling. I've never heard of the Dhatu Sev being used in the sense of sprinkling. It says Sechane. That might be a typo. Because mostly se means to serve, seva is normally means service. Let's see, Shevru, Sechane. Okay, sevane iti kechit. Okay, so there's a Pasha Veda here. Okay, so maybe some people think it is Sechane, but I think sevane makes much more sense. Sevane. Okay, so there's some, it's not a typo, it's just a Pasha Veda between Sechane and sevane. I think clearly for us right now we have Shevru Sevane to serve. So now the reason I went there is that because the dhatu has the mudhanya shakara adi dhatu in the dhatu pataha. So the Shevru in the dhatu pataha has the adi mudhanya adi. We need that. Because look at the form in the look at the form in the shloka. Is that we have, so there is no dhatu actually in the language which begins with a murdhanya shakara or a murdhanya nakara. They are put in the dhatu patha just to indicate the fact that that sakara or nakara can go back to the murdhanya if the nimittam arises, if nimitte sati. So one more time, there is no dhatu in actual usage in the language which has so maybe I'll put that in the document. So no verbal root actually in usage. Usage means after you do the substitutions. In usage, starts with the cerebral, either the na or the murdhanya sha. So if you see them in dhatu patha, what they really are is that they are beginning with na or sa, the dantya nakara or sakara. Sutra are as follows: dhatuade shassaha no naha. Very simple sutram, nothing very special. Is that when you dhatuade, so dhatuade he murdhanya shakarasya sakaradesha bhavati. So 6164, 65. 6164, 65. So immediately when you see a dhatu in the dhatu patha, which is murdhanya shakaradi, murdhanya nakaradi, the first thing you want to do is do dhatuade shasaha athava no naha. So let's 6164, 65. So why does Pani put them like that? Because as I mentioned to you that they can go to that murdhanya adesha when the nimittam comes there. So 61, put the numbers here, 6164, 65. So by 6164, 65, the dhatva adesha saha. So the sha changes to sa, and the na changes to the dental na. So now in our case we have shev, so the upadesh ajna nasikit, ru is an it. So when we apply this, then we get only, we have to, the dhatu that we have is actually only save. So that's the one you want to look at, is the dhatu save. So when you do the lit prakriya, we won't go through all the steps. I think most of you know many of that by now. So when we have the dhatu save, first you liti dhaturanabhyasasya, liti dhaturanabhyasasya. So we have to do the abhyasa karyam. So we always start with the dhatu plus the lakara. This has no exception. Everybody should know this first step. It may sound trivial, but it is not that trivial. You have to so we have to start with save plus lit, and then do the abhyasa karyam, liti dhatoho anabhyasasya. So one time we do abhyasa. Again, only the vowels take abhyasa, and the consonants just tag along with it on either side. It becomes save. And then will come the abhyasa karyam all at the end of 7.4, and there you have a sutram which says the haladisheshaha. So hal can remain only if it is the first member. So when we, I'm skipping some steps here, but we can do save, and in the meanwhile, in the place of lit, we get the tiptajji, etc., etc. In our case, we're looking at atmanipadam, bahuvachanam, as Pushpaji corrected us. So we get the pratyaya ja, and then the ja is going to become ire. So which we already saw by 3.481. So if you want to apply 3.481, we can make the ja into ire. Okay, let's do that. So that part we can do. So ja becomes ire, and then we can do the abhyasa karyam, which is haladishesha. The question is that there is a sutram in the abhyasa karyam which says rasvaha. So any vowel in abhyasa becomes rasvaha. Now, what is the rasva of a? We know rasva of long a is short a. Rasva of long e is short e. Rasva of long o is. What is the rasva of a or o or I or au? Well, that becomes a question. Because why is it a question? Because what is A equal to? A is really equal to the A plus E because of the guna sandhi, ad gunaha. So the A can be decomposed into really, but remember, the A is a vowel in its own right. So A is a vowel in its own right. It's a fundamental unit. So really, even though A is, the sounds can be decomposed into E and it is not really like a derived sound, Because why not? Because the Mahasha Sutrani has that A is in there. It's a vowel in its own right. So then if A is equal to, can be thought of as equal to, A plus E, then someone can argue that the rasva of A should be A. Someone else can say, no, it should be, so A is equal to A plus E, if you think of it like that, then why should the rasva of A should not be A? Why should it be E? Similarly with the O and so on also, because the Paniya Sutram for that is that H ighasvadeshe, H ighasvadeshe. So what the Sutram says is that if you have to do a rasva substitution for an H, it should be an ik. It should be an ik letter. So that is what, then the A is not a part of the ik pratyahara. So because of H ighasvadeshe, we have to choose the short E only. So that's 1148. H ighasvadeshe, 1148 tells us that don't take that A as the rasva of the A, O, I, O. Use the ik letter that is there, which is contained in there. And in our case, it is the E. So 1148, we just pointed out to you, it is H ighasvadeshe, H ighasvadeshe, H ighasva. You see, notice the sandhi here, H ik, it is rasvadeshe, become H ighasvadeshe because of jayoho anyatarasyam. In the sutram itself, we have a sandhi going on there. You won't go in detail, but the sandhi rule over there is actually coming in the end of 8.4 is jayoho anyatarasyam. I think we did it in the Saturday class. So jayoho anyatarasyam. So by 8.462, the sandhi rule happening in that 1148 in the sutram itself. But anyway, for right now, for us, the 1148 tells us that the E is going to be the rasva of the A. So then we get the form. So we will now have the C. The Va is gone by halantyam, and then we get the save, and then we have the ire. And the last thing that we need is only to make the murdhanya adesha, because we have sishe vire. So we already noted that actually this sakara of save is an adesha, because the dhatu in the dhatu partha was shevru, and we did the dhatu adesha saha by 6164 in our case, and that is what got us to this save form. So the most important rule for doing the murdhanya adesha is the 8359. Remember 8359. It should be in your brain at all times. It's adesha pratyayoho, adesha pratyayoho. So that what that says is that if you have a dantya sakara, which is either an adesha substitution, which is what we have right now, or if it's a pratyaya avayava, then it can go to the murdhanya, it will take a murdhanya adesha, provided the prior letter either in or a kavarga. In koha anuvrutti comes down there. So you remember this 8359 will be used a million times everywhere. 8359, adesha pratyayoho. And inko anuvrutti is coming down, and 58 is saying even some things can intervene also, but let's not look at that, we don't need it right now. So inko ho, in pratyahara goes all the way up to the second nakara, so up to hayavarat land. So ayin, rilak, ayong, ayoch, so that hayavarat land, so up to that land. So all of these can cause the murdhanya adesh. All of these are nimittam for that. In our case, we have the E in the abhyasa, the E was there. So that is what is going to just makes into the murdhanya. So 8359 will make, gives us basically si she vire. So that distance. That completes the form. See, that's good thing about dhatus is that you can learn a lot of Panini rules by learning the prakriya for the. So one of the best places to find the lakara prakriya is in the dhatu vritti, which I already referred to already, is the Madhavya dhatu vritti. This Madhava is probably the same as maybe brother of the Sayanacharya, who is a great Vedic commentator. It's a fantastic book which we should all have. Anything to do with a dhatu, generally he will give it, and it is not too complicated for us. He keeps in simple language. It's very authoritative also. This is about maybe 600-700 years old, maybe something like that, roughly. So, and in the first few lines of each dhatu, he will do the lakara prakriya. He will do the prakriya for the tinganta prakriya. He will finish. So, if you're looking for a specific rule for any dhatu in the tingantas, this book will give the dhatu vritti, will mention that in the first few lines, and he will do all the lakaras in the order of the tit lakaras first, the ngit lakaras second. So he'll go in the lut, lit, lut, lut, lot, lung, ling, lung, and lung. So that's the order in which that he will go. So you can look up there. Of course, he will not give you all the basic sutras. If you still don't get the answer, back up. Go to the first sutra of that gana. Do that one first. And from there you can go to the specifics. So if you don't find all the answers you're looking for, under that dhatu, means you're missing something which was covered before. So go to the top dhatu of that gana. Start from there. Understand all that one and then come down. Okay. So because he's not going to repeat all the time for all the dhatus. That's one of the most reliable places to get this. Of course, if you have the Bhimi Vakhya and the it also gives many dhatus, I think more than 200 or so. So that should also be a home base for you. So we got the form Sishevi. Next time we'll skip some steps. But so what was the important thing here is the dhatu was a murdhanya shakara adi in the dhatu partha. We did dhatu adesha saha. It allowed us to do the murdhanya adesha by 8359. Second thing is the ire ending is only one ire ending in all tingantas, and that is the Prathama Purusha Bhavachanam, because of litas sajayo reshi resh 3481. Finally, we saw that the rasva of the A is E, not A, because of H ig rasva desha. I didn't put the number here. Okay, let me put the number. So I forgot that. It is I think 148, and then okay. So that is these are all very important concepts which we will be using many times. So let's use that. Okay, let's see that was the kind of the hard part in this verse. Let's try to finish the rest of it now. Let's see. Is Anup, are you there? We can do the Padacheda for us, maybe. No, he's not there. Okay. Who wants to do the
Hello? Okay.
Anup?
Yeah.
Anup, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to help us out with this here? Okay, Anup's condition is that he won't do any Pani Sutra. That's his condition. So non-Pani Sutra, Anup will help us out. So, okay, let's start with the commentary. Tau is equals Raghavau Karma Bhutau. What's that telling you? Tau Raghavau Karma Bhutau. Because Tau is a pronoun.
Right.
It has to have a noun behind it. And that noun is not really clearly in the shloka. It's not. So shloke spashtam na nidishtam. It is not in the shloka.
Correct.
Then he supplies that it is Raghavau, Rama Lakshmanau. So he says karma bhutau.
This is the grammatical karma. Right?
Good. That is the object in the sentence. He's being very kind to us. Why does he have to tell us that, by the way? Because for tau we have a choice. If there was no choice, he would not waste his words telling us that. Saha tau te, and then tam, tau, tan. So tau could have been a nominative or a accusative. That is why he's telling us karma bhutau. Otherwise he will not waste his time telling us that. So that is the object of the verb sishe vire. So somebody.
And the significance of bhutau is what? Why not
I'm sorry?
karma bhuta, meaning having become the karma?
Not karma bhuta. Karma bhuta is karma rupa.
Karma rupa. Okay.
So that is not really, that bhuta is not in the bhuta kala. So in the form of, we've taken the form of karma. And then next he says, Saransi is kartruni.
Kartruni.
So that he is telling us very clearly that they are the doers. So again the same thing there. Saransi could have been a Dvitiya Bhavachanam or Prathama Bhavachanam as in this case, because what is the word is Padipadiyam is Saras. Saras Sarasi Saransi. Saras Sarasi Saransi. So that's why this sloka is very confusing, because both of them could have flip-flopped and become, but look at the verb sishe vire. We are looking for a plural doer. It could not have been tau. But anyway, he's being kind to us and he's telling us clearly that Saransi is kartruni. That's why Malinath's commentaries are so famous all over the world, because of the fact that he's, gives you exactly what you need, makes it so easy for you. Okay, now very quickly let's go to the word Saransi. The Pradipatikam is Saras. We need to get the form Saransi as a neuter nominative plural, the word Saransi. Now, always, just like in dhatus, we start with the dhatu plus the lakara, should always start with the pratipadikam and then with the default pratyaha, su or just what as the case may be. So saras plus we want the pratyaya jas, su or jas. Okay. Now what happens is that when we have the neuter pratipadikam, the jas and the shas, they become she. Jas shashoho, shasoho, shi. This is the sutram. That comes from the beginning of 7.1, as I mentioned to you many times. The pratyayadeshaha, they come beginning of 7.1. Beginning of 7.1. And there you will find this sutram which says jas shashoho shihi. Jas shashoho shihi. So in case of jas and shas, the shihi is the adesha. But what's interesting about this sutram? This just in the sutram itself, which sandhi has been violated in a sutram? The sutram itself, one sandhi rule has been kind of violated. Why? Which one is that? The Kartik. I know Kartik has mastered the Visarga sandhi rules. So Visarga sandhi niyamanam, you can say Samrat Kartika. Yes, Kartika. I gave you a title. You are the Samrat of the Visarga sandhis. Okay, yes, he's correct. It is Stohas Chunashchu, because this is the jas should have taken the Sasajusho Ruhu, then Karavasana Visajaniya Visajaniyasya Saha. Then why is that not being done here, Kartik? What do you think?
I think to avoid confusion.
Yes, correct. Vispashtartham. If you make the sandhi, sutra, when you make this in the sutra, if you make the sandhi sometimes, you don't know what you started with, So Panini will not. Actually, the book which I have, the Kashika, which I trust so much, has done the sandhi. So this could be a typo also. Let's see what is there in this document. This could be a typo, by the way. Just such a shihi. Let's look at what this one has. 7.1.20. That could be a typo. Of course, there are many typos here also, so we don't know which one is. But the book which I have, it generally doesn't have any typo. Let me check one more book, because I have also the Mahabhashyam book, which has almost no typos in there. Let's see what this one is giving us. 7.1.20. Because I have the gesture shows. Oh no, this also doesn't have. Interesting. So this also doesn't. Maybe it's not a typo. So it looks like there is what we call a Pataveda. Some people put it as one way, some people put it the other way. Let me look at my Mahabhashyam book. That one.
Vijayapalo Vidyavardi has a shakara.
That's the one. How about the Chaukamba book? What does it have?
Chokamba, 1 second.
So this could be a case of some people keeping it as just Let me look at my Mahabhashyam book, Abhyankar. That has very few typos. 7120 is that, let's see,
Talavya Shakara.
Talavya, right? Just Shoshi. Even Mahabhashyam is just Shoshi. So they are all doing stores, chunas too has been done here. Okay, so we'll take it as that as the main part, but if it's not been done, it's because of Vispashtartham. So what I'm saying is that in the Sutram, the what most of the good books that I shouldn't say good books, but very authoritative books are giving us this as the partha, which is the which is like this. They're making it as the I'm sorry, as the Jash and then Shasoho. So Shasoho Shihi. So that is the way that a lot of these good books have it. But sometimes this might be put as a Talavya Sakara only to avoid confusion. So I'll put that as a possible way. So instead of this Sa, you might see the this Sa, this Shashoho.
So, Sadeji, what stops that Sakara from being Shakara?
Nothing really. There is no, there should be, Sautratvat Sadhu. Because in Sutras, Pani will not. How about like, the very, Vasu has a question. Hold on for 1 second. Vasu has a question. Yes, Vasu.
Yeah, Haji. The Sutrapata by Swami Prahladagiri also has Jash Shashohu Shihi.
So he has here Talavya Shakara.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So one more book has Talavya Shakara. So looks at that. It looks to be the main part. How about, like, for example, what is the first Sutram Ashtadhyaya? Viddhiradich. Viddhiradich. Right there you have a problem. What's the problem with Sutram, by the way? Viddhiradich. What's the problem there? Very first Sutram of Ashtadhyaya, Viddhiradich. Problem there is that the Sutram is Chohokuhu. Is the Jali Padante. So when a Jal or a Padanta, the Cha Varga becomes Ka Varga. It should be Viddhiradaik, not Viddhiradaich. But if Panini did that, then we will be scratching our head, what in the world is this Aik? So Vispashtartham, Sandhikaram Nakrutam. So right from there, Panini says that. See, in Pani Sutra, a lot of Pani rules are violated, and he does that for various reasons. Sometimes he's trying to indicate to us that this is the form that you might see in the language, so he will do it himself. So he'll say, okay, I'm going to do it myself, so you will know that you will see this variation somewhere. Sometimes he will do it Pani will do just to keep it simple and keep it clear for us, So these kind of things Pani will do, so it doesn't become like Pramanam all the time. So anyway, okay, so what the Sutram is saying is that, let me put the number here. So the Jas and the Shas, they become Shi. In the Shi, when the Shi comes as becomes a Pratyaya, it comes in as an Adesha for Pratyaya. So it takes the Pratyaya status, and then Lashakvatadite, the Talavya Sha becomes an It. So let me put the number here first of all, 7120. So the moment you have a neuter Pratipadikam, because Napumsaka, the Anuvritti was coming from the prior rule. So it says, because it says Napumsaka cha, just Shashoho Shi. So the moment you have a neuter Pratipadikam, immediately make the Jas and Shas into the Shi. And then Lashakvatadite 138. So you apply 138, and then what you left behind is the E. So at least we got the E ending now. We got the E ending. And now we need to get the Numagama, because we look at the final form that we are trying to get is surround C. So we got so far all we have is the Saras plus the E is what we have so far. Saras plus E. we need to get the nasal somewhere, And the rule is that, interesting situation now that we have, that there are the two rules which can apply. Is that one rule is that Ugidacham Sarvanama Sthane Dhatoho. This Num Prakriya starts from this Idito Num Dhatoho. From this 7158, Pani starts talking about when to put the Num Agama. In that we have a rule which says the Ugidacham sarvanama sthane dhatoho. Ugidacham sarvanama sthane dhatoho. So anything which has the uk as an it, which we don't have, or which is dhatu anchu, which also we don't have. So could we use that? We could not use that now. But then there comes another sutra which says, Napumsakasya jalachaha. Napumsakasya jalachaha. So in Napumsaka anga which we do have right now, and then if it's ending in a jal or an ach, then falling, and again sarvanama sthane, right, we take a num agama. So by 7172, Napumsakasya jalachaha, you're going to get it because we are ending in a jal. Saras is ending in a sakara. Sakara is a jal. So 7172. So now by 7172, we're going to have to do a num agama. In the num 72, there is a num agama. Now in the num, the ma is it by, the ending ma is it by halantyam, and the u is in it by upadesh ajjanunasika it. Now this is a situation where the u is in it to help pronunciation. Ucharanartham ukarasya is sanya. Ukara prayuktaha ucharanartham. Although if you didn't have the u in between, it will be almost impossible to pronounce that combination. Nim, it becomes nim like that. So ucharanartham. So what is the provision of the ma is in it? Makarasa provijanam kimasti. So that we have to see this when you have these adesha, they will normally have one of these three letters as an it, one of these three letters, which is the ka or the ta or the ma. Because see, adesha, you don't know where to put them, at the beginning or at the end or in the middle somewhere. So it is ambiguous. What about the pratyas and adeshas? Are those also ambiguous? They are not ambiguous because of pratyaha parascha. The 311, 312 pratyas. So pratyas always come as a default, come following the element which they are prescribed after. So they always come after. Very easy. So pratyaha parascha. How about adeshas? Now adesha has a sutra called alontyasya. So pratyaha parascha is 311, 312. So pratyas are very easy. They always come after the term. They're a separate term. They come after the term. Now, adeshas also has a sutra which says alontyasya. Alontyasya means that it will, as a default, it will replace the ending letter only. Only the ending letter. There are exceptions to that, which we have seen, and which there are some other ones. But the alontyasya is which is the one that we can use when you're talking about the pratyas. But then what about the agamas? So there we have to use sutra which says adyantau takitau. Adyantau takitau. So what that sutra says is that if you have a ta as an it or a ka as an it, then respectively it becomes the beginning or ending member to where it is going. That's 1146 adyantau takitau. So here it says that adi antau takitau. So ta as an it, like an id agama or something, will go to the beginning of where it is going. The ka as in it, like we saw the muk agama when we did the form ujyamana, muk agama, it went to the end of the term which it is going to. But we had the ma as in it. That's the next sutra, 1147. Vidacho antyat paraha. Vidacho antyat paraha. So ma as in it, we'll put it after the last ach in the term where it is going. Again, one more time. If the ma is an it, we'll put the agama after the last ach, acho antyat. So after the last ach, antyat achaha paraha. So that's where it comes. So we have to use so remember these two, remember 1446, 47. Any agama, you have to look at these, because agama generally will have one of these three as a marker. In fact, that's how you know quickly something is an agama. If the titvat, kitvat, mitvat, agamaha jnayate shigram, is that it quickly, some of these statements I make up on my own, so don't take them as like pramanam, but so basically if you have tas in it, kas in it, mas in it, they are quickly known as agamas. So we had this num as an agama, and so that's now going to go after the last vowel of the term where it's going to. And the last one is Saras is this Akara. This Repa Uttaravarti Akara is the Antya Ach. So Tasmat Paraha Agama Bhavishyati will come after that. So then what do we get? We get this now. So using this this number 1147, we have to put the Numagama after the it'll come over here. It'll come in between here. So it'll come, the Ma will come there. By using, I'll quickly play that, using 1147. Okay. Now what? I'm sorry, Numagama, not the Mumagama. Numagama. It should be Nakara. Numagama. Okay. Numagama. Okay. We'll have like that. Now you can do. We want to make the Anuswara and all that. Before that, we have to finish this. All the work in the first 7.1 adhyaya should be finished before we can do to the Tripada Saptadhyaya. I mean Tripadi. So Sapada Saptadhyaya Karyani, Puram Kartavyani. Then Paschat Tripadi Karyam. So we have one more rule which says that to do the Upadadhika, it says Santamahata Sanyogasya. Santamahata Sanyogasya. So that is coming in Anuji's section. It is 6.4. Anuji is a master of that section, so I've given her a name now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put students' names on all these sections. Kartik is the Samrat of Visarga Sandhi. Anuji is Samrat of the Upada Dirgha. Make it Samrajni, we should make her, right? She is feminine. Okay. Anyway, so all these Upada Dirghas come in this section of this Santamata Sanyoga says one sutram here, which says in the beginning of 6.4, 6.4.10. Just to give you a pointer for you that this Anuvritti of Dirgha goes from 6.3.1.1.1. This Jhalope Purvasya Dirgho Anaha. This Dirgha has a Dirgha Anuvritti. This Dirgha has a very Dirgha Anuvritti. It goes all the way down to 6.4.18. It also highlights the point that Anuvrittis don't have to stop at Pada boundaries. They can go beyond that also. So we get this form as 6.4.10. Santa. So if we have a Sakaranta Sanyoga, but which has Nakara's Upadha, it has to be Sakaranta Sanyoga. But the Upada has to be Nakara. And then in that case, if it is Sarvanama Sthane Chasam Buddhau, then we get the Upada Dirgha. So when we have this Na Sa combination, for by Pratyaya, which is Sarvanama Sthanam, because of Shi Sarvanama Sthanam, that becomes the Sarvanama Sthanam. And then we do the Upada Dirgha, become surrounds. Once that is done, then we are pretty much home free once we do that. So let me give you the sutra for the Sarvanama Sthanam. This Shi Sarvanama Sthanam. So define the plural ending of the neuter as a Sarvanama Sthanam. But in the masculine and feminine, it is the first 5. Su, au, jas, amaut. Sud anapumstakasya. Sud anapumstakasya. So those two sutras will define what is Sarvanama Sthanam. So Shi Sarvanama Sthanam, that comes in 1142, and the same page we're looking at. So 1142 is what you want to use here, along with that sutram in 6.4. So 1142 will define what is Sarvanama Sthanam. And so Shi Sarvanama, because we need that. We cannot use this 1.6.4 sutram unless we define what Sarvanama Sthanam is. I'm sorry, 1142. I'm sorry, 1142. Shi Sarvanama Sthanam. Here it is. And then after that, we go to that sutram in 6.4 to make the Upadadhiga. So 1142 and 6.4.10 is what we have to apply here to get the form. So we get Sa, it become Ran, Sa, and then E, and that is why the 1142, 6.4.10 and 1142. 142. So this event looks like many steps just to get one form, but you can use the same steps. For some of these steps will be common. For example, the first 2-3 steps are common for any neuter pratipadikam. The last one only was special one for this this nakara sakara sanyoga. But this is a common kind of many terms in neuter. Like say manas is a very common word. Manas, manasi, manansi. Like the word rajas. Rajas, rajasi, rajaunsi. Tapas, tapaunsi. So it's a tapaunsi, saraunsi, manaunsi, rajaunsi, in a word like havimshi, so these are all common words that we have to use the sutra for that. Now finally what we do is that now we have finished the karyam in the Sapada Saptadhyayi karyam samaptam. Then you have to go to Tripadi. And there we have Nascha Padantasya Jali. Nascha Padantasya Jali. We get a Anuswaraha, which is a non-Padanta Nakara or Makara, followed by a Jal. Then we get the Anuswaraha. Nascha Padantasya Jali. I think 8-3, probably 25 maybe. Yeah, or 8-3-25-ish. Nascha Padantasya Jali. So that will we get the Anuswaraha, and that will be the end of it. Because normally you could have done the Parasavarana, because Bajya Parasavarana is not possible because the word Sakara doesn't have a Savarana nasal with that. So 8-3-24. Nascha Padantasya Jali. So that will complete the forms around C. So next time we can skip a few steps, but since I think for this first year or so, I'll keep repeating all these steps so we can all then from next year onwards we'll start skipping some things because people can listen to recordings or they can those who've been attending the classes will know these steps. So it's around C. So by the 8-3-24. 8-3-24. So this is the nominative plural form. They are the duras. So far what we have now is we have the Saransi Raghavo Sishe Vire. Saransi Raghavo Sishe Vire. To the lake. Saras is a lake. Lakes. So the lakes served Rama and Lakshmana. And how do they do it? Rasavadbhi ambhubhi. So Rasavadbhi ambhuhi. So by there, with there's a karna, this is Titya is karne. So by means of their or with their waters, which are very sweet. Now Rasavad, he kindly gives a rasa can mean juice or sap or rasa can also mean like excitement or some something, some taste. So rasa very tasty. It means he's sweet. So Rasavadbhi is madhuraihi. So keep your life simple. Just take what Murinatha is giving us and you can use that. So Rasavadbhi equals Madhuraihi Ambubhihi Sishe Vireya. So the lakes served them as if personified, served them with their sweet waters. Now the same, once you get this construct, the remaining are going to be easy now. You can have the same construct going 2-3 times. This is also a poetic device. It's a poetic device. We repeat the same structure, back to back, use a common dhatu. Next one is the patatrinaha. Is the patatram. Patatram is the wing, paksha. So like pakshinaha, patatrinaha. Sometimes you see a partha with 2 takaras there. It's probably the more common partha. Let's look at this word, patatrin. So patatram is an interesting word. It says patantam trayate iti like Gayatri mantra hai, no? So what does Gayatri mean? Gayantam trayate iti Gayatri. Gayantam trayate iti Gayatri. She protects the one who chants her. So who's chanting, who's singing. So just like you have the word Gayatri. So there also you should really technically have, interesting Sandhi point here by the way, in Gayatri also, is that now, how come you have only most people will write Gayatri? How would they write Gayatri? They only write like this, You'll not only like in grammatical text, you'll find it's Gayatri. Then the form comes Gayatri. So what happened to one takara? Because Gayantam is Gayat. Gayat plus dhatu actually is Trai. Dhatu is Trai. And that Trai has taken this Atonupasarge kaha. So we'll come to that. But even before we come to that, what happened to one takara of that Gayatri? Okay. There is one rule which Panini gives. It says, Jaro Jari Savarne. Jaro Jari Savarne. The end of Ashtadhyayi, this is an important rule you should keep in mind. Even if you have a conjunct with 3 members, and then if you have a hal plus jar, and that jar plus jar should be savarna, 2 savarnas jar. So, tulyasa pratnam savarnam. So jaro jari savarne. Towards the end of Ashtadhyayi, look at this now. The jaro jari savarne is 8,465. The Ashtadhyayi ends in 8,468. So this rule will see almost every other rule. Well, almost nobody will see this rule, Jaro Jari Savarne. So after everything is done, so Sarveshu Karyeshu, Sampaditeshu, Satsu, when all the works have been done, then Tatpaschad Idam Sutram Pravartate. So then comes this Sutram. We said if you have this combination of a hal plus jar, that number 2 and 3 have to be savarna. So in that case, let me give a quick example. Let's say you have a situation where you have let's say if you take the dhatu rud, and if you take the dhatu rud in a dual form, I'll find a good example for you. So this dhatu rud is belongs to the 7th gana, runadhi. So, but in the weak form, the akara drops. But anyway, maybe you know what? We skip the example. We don't need it right now because I have to give you too many steps to come to that point. Remember this much: is that if you have in the dhatu rud, if you look at the dual form, the 3rd person dual, become rundha. So rundha and rundha because you have na, the, and the and the are savarna because tatudhana are part of a family. So then the middle one can drop. So you can become rundha. So that's because when you have the tip tasji, when you add the pratyaya tas, the dhatu rud, you get rund plus tas. I guess maybe I'll put it anyway because I'm going through all the steps. So when you have this dhatu rud, what happens is that this gana vikana comes in between. Again, we have not done all the rules yet, but just take my word for it right now and become rund plus the pratyaya tas is there. And now what happens is that, of course, we have to do this jashastator dhodaha, that ta becomes dha by a different row. And so we end up getting rund dhas. Now we have the na, dha, dha. The na is the hal, and the 2 dhas are the jars, which are going to be back to back. And the middle one can drop. And so this is a vaikalpikam karyam. This is not a nitya karyam. So that rule is optional. So jaro jari savarne, and it can be anyatarasyam. It takes the lopaha. So anyatarasyam lopasyat. That's what happens. Now, do we have that, by the way? So let me put this number here. So 8,465. So by 8,465, the middle dha can drop optionally. So we get 2 forms. So we get 2 forms actually, which we are not going to look at without looking at all the rules. We get 2 forms. We get rundha. So we get rundha, and we'll also get the rundha. So that will be the this
Will we get Nattam?
I'm sorry?
Will we get Nattam?
How about Nattam? Okay, interesting point. What do you think the answer to that is? Kalpesh, can you tell me the answer to that? Apply all what Kalpesh is asking is that, why did the na not become na? Rashabhyam no na samana pade. If you have a samana pada, nimittam is the repa or the mudanya shakara. Then this na should have become na. What stops that, by the way? Or does it stop that? Can we say runadhi when we speak from runadhi? We got nattam over there. We're sidetracking too much, but it's okay. It's a good question. Well, the reason, by the way, Siddhanta Kaumudi Kalpesh, Bhattaji gives a very nice explanation for this, But let's see. But we can also do it ourselves. So let me just put this here, and then we'll discuss Kalpesh's question. This is a third person a dual lut form. Okay, just to put it here for you for your reference. Any thought, Kalpesh? What happens? I'll give you a hint. You just use sutram in the last surround. When you surround, see, we just use that sutram, which is stop nattam. What was that? Right here, 8324. So what happens is that 8324 makes that na into an anuswara. And then later on, the parasavarna comes much later after nattam rules have been passed. So when all the rules come for nattam, they see anuswara only, not the nakara. This is like, take a simple word like grantha. Grantha, if you look at this word grantha, it should have become grantha. Then what is stopping that, So why does the grantha not become grantha? Looks like everything is satisfied. But what this Panini does is very smart. As I mentioned, the Tripadi of Panini is really a specimen of human genius, How he was able to conceive all these interactions, very complex interactions, and get all the desired forms in the language was just amazing. So what Panini does is that he does this 8324, Nascha Padantasya Jali. He puts the anuswara there for the time being. Then come all the rules in between, which among them is these rules changing from na to na, the 841 to 8440, etc. And then after that, Panini does the anuswara sajayi parasavarnaha. Because, you wonder why the rules are not back to back. Because why he not do the anuswara and do parasavarna back to back? Because he wants all these rules in between to not see that nakara or makara. He wants them to see the anuswara only and not make it. So all this shtunastuho, and all these rashabhyam nuna samana pade, they all don't see the nakara. They only see anuswara only they will see. Of course, that has to be, jali pare. Because nascha pradantasya jali. So when the jal follows, the 8324 makes the anuswara, 8458 does the parasavarnaha. The rules in between do not see the nakara. They will see anuswara only. So that's a good question, actually. I asked my teacher the same question, so I know, because I was also confused about it. And the Siddhanta Kaumudi clearly talks about this. Says very nice. So 8324 to 8458, in that gap in there, only anuswara is seen, not the nakara. So that is how you escape the change from na to na is not done, because only anuswara is seen. Okay, so all right. So we were coming to this Gayatri and Patatram. Now, can we use that rule in our case? Because remember what we need by this 8465. So 8465 requires a hal plus jar plus jar. We don't have that. What do we have in Gayatri? We have takara, rephaha. But we do have that, but it has to be savarna. That jar. So let me put it over here. So 8465 requires the, I'll give you one or two interesting examples, like a word like putraha. How about that one, putraha? There also we have the same situation. So a word like putraha, when you write, I'm sorry, let me put the, should be, because almost no book that you will see will write the word like this, putraha. Really what it should be. Because the vyutpatti of that word is that punna manarakat trayatiti putraha. So one who saves his father and mother from going to this hell called put. So punna manarakat trayatiti putraha. Instead of having a son, you don't have to go to that hell. And that's what they give. But grammar-wise, put plus traha it is. Putraha. Now do we have, but 8465 requires the, you have to have this combination of conjunct requires a conjunct where you have the conjunct of, you need the hal plus, I'm sorry, got to improve my typing, the hal plus jar plus savarna jal. So that is the combination that you need, and we don't have that, because let's see what we have. So the second jar should be savarna with paraya jal. So that's the condition. Savarnaha. Savarnaha. Now what do we have? We have ta, and ra. Now that they are okay. The ta is a jal. That's the hal is fine. The first one can be any hal. That is fine. The second and third have to be jar. So jar means from javai, gardash, jabagardash, all the way up to shashasar. So that's fine. We have the, actually refa is not even a jar, because refa comes in hayavarat land. There itself we are disqualified, because the refa is not a jar. So we don't have jar plus jar. And in any case not savarna anyway, so that also is gone. Then how do you remove that ta of putra? Then why do all the books write the word putra has only that one ta? Here, I think the way that they justify that is that, I think in the Mahabhashyam somewhere Patanjali says is that when you have this conjunct with the same member back to back as the first two, Shravana Bheda Nasti. You cannot tell the difference when let me say putraha, ati alpa Shravana Bhedaha. There's a very, very slight difference in hearing. So we cannot tell when you listen to the form, whether it is, this is all a spoken language, writing came much later. It's only spoken. So even the putraha is the correct form. We say putraha, vedha na jnayate sa. So it cannot be different. So that's how we justify that first ta will take lopaha, or the middle ta will take lopaha, either way. By that justifies, but by Panini rule 8465, it cannot apply over here. Doesn't apply. But I think this is Patanjali Vachanat. We have to accept this as, but you can say Shravana. I don't know the exact word Patanjali uses, but it implies this Shravana Bheda. Otherwise, you're stuck. You cannot derive that from putra. Shravana Bheda Abhavat. That's roughly what he says. You can say Ekasya Takarasya Lopaha, because you have the Takarasya Lopaha. So this can be invoked, by the way. You can invoke this one when you have this back to back, the same letter back to back. It is very hard in the conjunct followed by. It's very hard to tell. It is putraha. Same thing now. Gayatri. Now our word is patat. Patantam trayatiti patatram. So look at what our book says. Our book doesn't have the two ta. It only has one ta. So it says, see what they've done there. Patatrin. The in we can use later on. One who has that patatrin. But patatra he didn't give. Patatra. Give patatrin. So this is also allowed. But actually for us, to be actually correct, you should put it like that. You should put the, Vyakarana Drishtya. The Shuddha Rupam is this one only. The Patatram. Patatram is a paksha. Patatram is a wing. So that which protects you from falling down, flat. So patatram. Now what sutram is that? Is the Anupasargya, the Ato Anupasargya kaha. So let's see. Can Karthik do this for me now? I think he knows. Well, does Karthik know? I think he might know this one. Okay. Or maybe somebody can help him. So what we have is this sutram, which is the Upapada Samasaha, which makes it we're looking for dhatu ending in A. So Ato Anupasargya kaha. So it should be a dhatu ending in A with no upasargaha. Pratyaya ka is added to make an adjectival form. Upapada Samasa. As long as the Upapada karma is there. So karmanyan Ato Anupasargya kaha. So let's put that now. So we said, so we have the form patat is one who's falling. Then we can say he is the object of that, and dhatu is trai. Trai Now, can we even bring the pratyaya ka over here because we don't have the adanta dhatu? So can we use that or not? Anybody in the class? I think somebody should know. Besides Kalpesh, anybody knows that how did trai become tra? Because unless we can make trai into, I think we covered in one of the prior classes, in Wednesday classes. So how did the trai become? Because unless we can make the trai into tra, we cannot use ato nupasarge kaha, because the sutra clearly says ataha. So adanta dhatu. Ushaji has the question. Very good. Ushaji has the answer. Yes, Ushaji. Very good. Thank you. So Ushaji is correct. 6145, right? Yeah, 6145. Yes, she is correct. So what the sutra is saying is that if you know pratyaya is going to be coming, which does not have the talavya shas in it, then immediately these dhatus ending in H, the A, I, O, O, the A, whatever, A, O, I, O, they will all become adantas. So adecha upadesha shati, and this is nityakaram. Nothing stops this. So immediately, if you know the pratyaya which is going to be coming, since it is a dhatu, it has to take some pratyaya. Okay, dhatus cannot be used on their own. So it has to take some pratyaya to be used. So if you know pratyaya coming is not the talavya shodan it, then immediately make it as adanta. So 6145. So by 6145, you knew that the pratyaya ka will not have talavya shodan it. So by 6145, this trai has already changed to tra. So trai has changed to tra. Has changed to somebody has a question.
So is there a iteratara ashraya between these two sutras?
You mean to say that the ka cannot come until the a is there, or the a cannot come until the ka is there? So what Kalpesh is saying is that they are mutually independent. Is the a could not come till the ka is there, the ka cannot come until the a is there. But see, I think this 6145 is what can stop that coming? Because the vivaksha of the speaker is to create this. See what he wants to do is he wants to create upapada samasa, right? With this, it's a bit of a circular references there. I admit that, but I think 6145 I think preempts that, because that allows us to do this adanta adesha even before doing anything else, because Kalpesh's point is that how can the ka come until you can make the a, and how can the a come until you know the ka is coming. But the 6145 allows. Let's see if there is anything with the kashika which helps us out. But that's the way that I remember it being taught to me. Is 6145 is immediately you have to do that. So in short, you're allowed to make use these ajanta dhatus as adanta dhatus. They are adanta dhatus. As long as the talavya it is not being used, they are basically adanta dhatus. So that's what it is. So 6145. We say quickly look at it. Otherwise we'll move on. That's the one that we used. While I'm doing that, somebody can think about what happened to the a. How did the a drop? The number is slightly off. Adesh upadesha shati is ajantayo dhatuhu tasya akaradesha. Again, typo should be akaradesh, not akar. Should be akaradesha bhavati. Okay, no, it doesn't really say. Look, actually, it does say. Kalpesh does say here. See, ashiti iti prasajya patishedha ayam. Tena etad atvam anaimittikam prag eva pratyutpatte bhavati iti. So what he's saying is that what Kashi, in fact, I didn't know that. I'm glad I looked over here. So what they're saying is that even if nothing follows, will still become a. What we call a prasajya patishedha. Prasajya patishedha means even if nothing doesn't have to be, even if see when this says is that the ashiti pratyaya should follow, But even if nothing follows, so the condition is what? That ashiti. Ashiti means that the talavishit pratyaya should not be following. But does that mean that something should be following? Kashika says no, But it says prasajya pratisheda, the term is used, which means even if nothing follows, it can also become a. So basically the dhatu is tra is waiting for there. Only if the talavishas and it pratyaya is coming, then only make it trai. Otherwise tra is nitya karyam. So that's how they answer Kalpej's question. He obviously has a good question because look at this. Give the sutram also, Atasthupasarga, different sutram but the same kind of form. So this is Atasthupasarga iti ka pratyaha. Very good. So this Kashika has answered the question. It says ashiti iti prasajya pratishedha ayam tena etad atvam anaimittikam. You don't have to wait for it to come. Even if nothing is coming, it will still become a. Prag eva pratyaya utpatte. This is what he says. Prag eva pratyaya utpatteer bhavati. Even before the pratyaya comes, you can make the a. Iti. And sumlaha iti atashu. This different sutram, but similar operations. That there also the pratyaya ka is coming. Very confusing sutra by the way, these two. Atashupasarge and atonupasarge kaha. Both being kaha. both these sutras in the pratyaya ka. Anyway, let's not get into that for time being. But the way they're doing it, they're taking the prasajya pratishedaha. And that says that even if nothing comes, so still this one becomes a. Okay, so there are two kinds. This is pratishedaha of two kinds: the paryudasa and prasajya. So paryudasa say that there has to be something similar there. So now you say abrahmanam anaya, bring me a non-brahmana. You have to bring somebody similar. You cannot bring a dog or a stone. You have to bring another man generally, an abrahmanam anaya. But you can say, anutam ma bruhi. Don't speak any untruth. It means you can say nothing also. Is okay. So it says, just say don't speak any untruth. So you can say something which is like, ninda ma kuru. Don't criticize anybody. So you can keep quiet also. If you say nothing also is okay. That is the prasajya prasiddha with the nishedasya pradhanyam vartate. So don't do. That is the pradhanyam. While in the other one, abrahmana manaya, it is videhe pradhanyam vartate. You bring somebody. That's important. You bring somebody. Then, okay, a brahmana, you bring somebody else. Similar to the brahmana, you bring somebody else. Means it cannot be a dog or a stone or something like that. But here it is ashiti, what is saying is that, and normally when you use the nyantat purushaha, when you use that, it signifies the paryudasa pratishedaha. Paryudasa. Means when that's why Kashi is clarifying. When ashiti was said, you would think that you should have some pratyaya, but not talavishas in it. But there should be some pratyaya. It cannot be nothing, cannot be zero. But Kashika says no. He says ashiti iti prasajya pratishedho ayam. Tena etad atam anaimittikam. Nothing can also be there. Okay. Anyway, we are transcribing too much. But these two pratishedas are in this grammatical thing is prasajya pratishedaha and paryudasa pratishedaha. This ashiti in 6145 Vyakhyanat, it is a prasajya pratishedaha. It means that even before knowing what's coming, nothing is coming, you can make the a. And then if you realize that talavishya is coming, then you put it back to the I if need be. So that's the way they're putting it to help us out. And the example given is here. So I'll just put a comment in the document. If you don't follow this, don't worry about it. This is a little bit too detailed right now for us. So 6145, the condition ashiti, and it's a very good question by Kalpesh, but maybe a little bit too much for this class. But ashiti is a prasajya pratishedaha and not paryudasa. Prasajya pratishedaha. We're going to see these terms again, so don't worry, they'll come again. Prasajya pratishedaha. And okay, let's leave it at that. Let's move along. Prasajya pratishedaha. So that's the reason why, even though anyona ashrayam it looks like it, that can be done in the beginning itself. Okay, now who has the answer for me for the next question? What drops the ana? A plus ka. Besides Kalpej, anybody? Anybody? Anuji should know this sutra. I think she knows it. She's been a little bit quiet today. Anuji has the answer. Yes, yes. Yes, Anuji.
6164.
Little bit off. One number is off.
Oh.
I'll give you only one number.
Yeah. Let me see. 60.
No, not that one.
65. No.
No, that's the wrong number.
No.
Anga Karya.
6, 4, 60. Kalpej, right? It's Anga Karyam, right? Anga Karyam. It has to be an Anga Shadikara. So it is 6, 4, 64. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. I'm sorry. That's what I meant.
Oh, you meant that.
Yeah. Yeah, 6464 because they come next to each other. 6464.
Manasyanyat vachasi.
Yeah.
Vishaji also, I think Vishaji also, right? Thank you. So, Vishaji also had that. Let me see that, I think, yeah. Yes, Vishaji, 6464, right?
So I was going to say 6464.
Thank you, 64. Ato lopa iticha. So, ato lopa iticha. Of course, first of all, Lashak Paddhadite, the ka is an it. So, only Anubandha lope, only a remains. Because, and then by ato lopa iticha, let's say if you have a akara lopa, adanta angasya, and ajado iti niti pratyaya pare, then we can become atva, kashibin idagama should be there, one of these two. Then it becomes the akara. So we get the word patatra. So we apply, so 6464 gets us to the form patatra. And then finally we have to do the pratya ini. So by 6464, let's put it right here. So using 6464, we get the form patatram. So it's a neuter noun. So patatra we got, and then one who has that wing, like a pakshin shabdana, same thing. We use the then you may put the next line maybe patatra plus ini ata ini thanau. This is mutubartha pratyaya pratyaya. So one who has that, like we say balin, one who has balam is balin. So this can only be used ata ini thanau. Is the pratyaya ini, anubandha lope in, can only be used if they have adanta anga, ata ini thanau. So matup is the default, but you can use the word in. Now what happens is that, so that will be in 5.2 something, from I think 5.294 starts the tadasyasti asmin niti matup. Tadasyasti asmin niti matup. So that starts from 5 to 94 onwards, probably like around 100 or so roughly, 5 to 100 roughly speaking. I think, let's see, 5 to, a little bit later, maybe 108, maybe 107. Ata ini thanau is what I'm looking for. It has to be in this, yeah, 115 it is, a little bit later, 115. Ata ini thanau. How do I know that? Because from 5 to 94 to end of 5.2 is matupadhikara. And then that, I know the sutram is there, so because, so this is one nice compact section, taditas, 52115 in. Then we get the bhasanya, yachibham, swadishva sarvanamastane, swadishva sarvanamastane, swadishu asarvanamastane. So when a pratyaya swadi which is falling, which is not sarvanamastana, then the anga gets the bhasanya. And then we can do the akar lopa by 64148, yasyeti cha. If the anga is a bhasanya, then the avarnantasya, ivarnantasya, bhasanyakasya, angasya lopa bhavati, ikare tadite cha pare. So then using this 1-4, I don't know if you followed some of that. If you didn't follow, it's okay. But when you add any of these swadi pratyayas, the anga either gets the padasanya or bhasanya. Swadeshu asarvanamastane. The sarvanamastane is neither pada nor bha. But if you have this, because in sarvanamastana we already saw it in today's lesson. Sarvanamastana is only shi sarvanamasthanam and sudanapumsakasya. We don't have that. In Taditas, there's no sarvanamastana in Taditas. Just to tell you what is Swadi. Swadi goes from 412 to end of 5th Adhyaya. So it's a huge list, not only those 21 case endings, but all Taditas and all three Pratyas are coming Swadi. From Swadi, just from 412 Panini starts this section. And so normally we usually only is 21. Rama, all those, 20 up to Rameshu. But not only those, but the entire Striyam Adhikara, which are all the feminine affixes. That's how Gaura becomes Gauri. It's because that Gaura, that ending drops, becomes Gauri. And then the Taditaha also, all of the Pratyas are by the hundreds over here, there are many, by the scores at least. So there are many Pratyas. So they all are Swadi. And Savanamastana is only this, pertains to these first few only over here. So we don't have that. There are very few compared. So Swadishu Asavanamastani. And you get the Padasanya by default. But in Yachibham, if the Pratyaya beginning Ajadi or Yakaradi Pratyaya, then it becomes a Bhasanya. This 1418 Sutram Yachibham. The moment you get Bhasanya, go to 64129 in the Bhasyadhikara. And try to look for nothing. So the Bhanga cannot be used until this section is scanned. The Bhasyadhikara has this routine, they're all like computer routines, The moment you the Bhasya Sanya, it trips off this routine of Bhasya. And there you have to check if anything applies to your situation. And we have the Sutram 64148, which says the Yasya teacher. Yasya means this is the Yant Sandhi is being done in Sutram. Ivarnantasya, Avarnantasya, Basanyakasya, Angasya, Lopabhavati, Ikare, Tadite Chapare. So that's 1418 along with 64148. Otherwise you'd have Ad Gunaha. Between A and E, Ad Gunaha Praptaha. Gunadesha Praptaha. It will become Patitrain. It's not the right form. That we have better drop that A by something. Otherwise you're going to have a problem. So we get the Bhasanya, the 1418, and then we'll put it down here. As you see, the Lord is very, very nice, sweet, short term. These are all probably Panini's creations, He made up these, probably came up with these, like the Bha, Gi, Gu, but term like Atmane Padam, Parasmai Padam, Sarvanama Sthanam, all these are probably pre-Paninian terms that he kept. So he basically kept some of them, and he created new ones that he wanted to use himself. Anyway, so Bhasanya, and then we have the 64148, which is the Yasyeti Cha, that remove this Akara, and then so that one goes by this one Patatra, and then you can use the Patatrin, and Patatrin is, and finally you can do the Patatrinaha. When you create the plural form, you get the Nattam by 842. 842 will change the Na to Na only after you decline it. Because why only after decline? Because the ending Nakara cannot, well, for a couple of reasons. Firstly is that you should not do any Tripadi Karyam until you have formed the full Padam. Supting Antam Padam. So do not do any Tripadi. Sometimes we might do it for the sake of, being kind of short and skipping some steps. But do not do any Tripadi Karyam until the Padam is formed. So Patatrin is only the Pratipadikam only we have done. We have to still decline it as Patatrin plus Shas and become Patatrinaha. And then only we can go Patatrinas, I should say. Then only we can go Tripadi. And there we'll see the Atkup Vamnum Gavaye Api. So we have the Nimittam is the Repaha. With Nimittam, and then this we have the Ikara intervene that is allowed by 842. So by 842, by 842, we're going to get the change of the Na to Na. So by 842, in the declined form, we change the Na to a Na. Or what 842 says that some letters and any combinations of them are allowed to intervene between the Nimittam and the Karyam, in changing Na to Na. And so this At Kupvam Nyumvayap. So any At can intervene. The E is an At. So that's what changes the Na to Na. So if you want to look up the sutram on your own, you can look them. They're fairly simple. So this one changed Na to Na. And we get the form Patatrinaha as we have in the shlokaha. Patatrinaha. So Patatrinaha is Pakshinaha. Then Kujitai, Dhatu Kuj. Think Kujitam. This is also a neuter noun. This is not the usual what we call the past passive participle. So Patatrinaha is Kujitam. like hasitam, jalpitam. This is a neuter noun. Because why? It is not an adjective qualifying anybody else. It is so kujanaihi, we can say, or kujitai. This is the napumsake bhave taha. This is not the sutra nishtha which gives us the adjectival form. The one we're using is napumsake bhave taha. It's created a neuter noun. So you need to watch out for this. Don't just jump to the conclusion because you see the ta that it has to be an adjectival form. They can also form neuter nouns. I think we saw in the previous class by napumsake bhave taha. So they don't have to be always adjectives, those past participles which you call. So napumsake bhave taha, that will come over here. So this is the 33114. The kujitam is a neuter noun. So we will put that in a document. So 33114, napumsake bhave taha. This kujitam is actually a noun form. The kujitam is a noun form. Okay, so kujitai, again karana bhutai. Karana bhutai means those are the instruments by which they pleased Raghava. So then Shruti Sukhaihi, let's look at that. Look at he gives us the, by the way, Patatrinaha gave the commentary Pakshinaha. So what he's telling you is Patatram is Paksham. So that he made that for you, Pakshinaha. And then Sukhayanti iti Sukhani, Pachadyach. So Nandyadi, so Nandi Grahi Pachadibhyaha, Liu Niniyachaha. So Pani gives this three pratyas which can be used, after these three respectively, these three ganas, which is the Nandyadi gana, the Grahadi gana, and the Pachadi gana. The Pachadi gana is very, very commonly used. So you can use this pratyaya ach. This is the Akriti gana. Akriti gana means stretchable gana. So Pachadi Akriti gana. So basically any dhatu that you can see a form in usage, you can justify that form by making an agent noun and apply pratyaya ach. When the ach, of course, only halantyam, only a remains. So by 3.134, it's taking the dhatu sukha. The sukha dhatu is in the 10th gana. It becomes sukhayati. Sukhayati is the 10th gana dhatu. So first we form the we can do the sukha. Actually, dhatu is sukha in the dhatu patha. Sukha is adanta dhatu. Let's go there for 1 second. Is in the dhatu patha, in the 10th gana, the churadi gana, from the dhatu katha onwards, they are all adanta dhatus. I mean, this akara is not ucharanatham akara. This actually is a part of the dhatu. Dhatu actually is sukha. Sukha. And that's why that doesn't become it doesn't become, sokhayati, it becomes sukhayati. So that akara is still present there. And the akara is going to drop by the atolopaha, ardha dhatuke. So the akara actually drops. But what that prevents is that it prevents this guna of the u from happening. This sukha is so starting from kathadi dhatus. See, I have not used Kalpeshji's dhatu patha yet. Is it a good one, Kalpesh? Is dhatu patha, is it good? Can we use that? It is, I think this is a dhatu patha because in the dhatu patha sequence, the kathadi dhatus are taken as adantas. Here's a dhatu patha. Let me see. Let me try that one. Okay, let's see if it works. Okay. No. Let's go to the. This is in the akara, the order. That's not okay. This will not do because we need in the dhatu patha order. Okay. Anyway, in the dhatu patha order, if you look at the katha adi dhatu in the dhatu patha, up to the end of the churadi gana, they're all adanta dhatavaha. So they all, like if the dhatu is katha, so it will become like gana, ganayati, kathayati, sukhayati. Does not become ganayati or kathayati, because that or at the end is going to go away by atolopaha ardha dhatuke. So by atolopa ardha dhatu, it goes away. It doesn't really stay back. But when it goes away, it leaves behind this intervention. So of course the niche becomes by chutu the years in it. So we by the 6.4 I think 148 atolopaha, ardhadhatuke. So when a pratyaya following is ardhadhatukam, then if the organ is shorter, it takes lopaha, atolopaha, sutu atolopaha, anurutya of ardhadhatuke. So that means that it becomes suk plus e. Now why do we not do the puganta lagupajasya gunaha over here? Because this so first of all we did the 6-4 this 48, I think, not 1-4. I'm sorry. Let's go back for a second. But the section of the ardhadhatuke section is starting over here, and we had the 6-4 from, I think it starts from 46. I give the wrong number. 6-4 46 starts the ardhadhatuke. Atolopa is 6-4 48. So the akar lopa 6-4 48. But now the question is that why can we still not do the guna of the u? Became sokha. Reason for that is that this achaf prasin purva vidhau. When you do an ajja adesha, the adesha in place of an ach, the lopa also is an adesha. Lopa is an adesha of a 0. The lopa is substitution of a 0. Then if something to the right, so parasmin, when it comes to something which is to the right of it, parasmin, and puro vidhau, if it wants to act puro vidhau, to make something on the left, then this ach will have sthanivat bhava, as if it is still there. So even though that has become a 0, that when it comes to something to the right, wanting to act, to the left of it, kind of crossing over it, then that will have, that ach will have sthanivat bhava. So achaf prasin puro vidhau. So so then the upadha is still kha, not the u. So in the eyes of this e, the upadha is still kha, not the u. So that was the whole purpose of making this dhatu sukha adanta dhatu. So the sukha was made adanta dhatu in order to, or katha or gana, all these. So they will not do any of these upadha guna or upadha vriddhi, or that will not happen for these dhatus. So I think, so let me give you a sutram. I'm running out of time as usual. Okay. Achaf, it's a very important concept. Achaf prasin pura vidhau. It's 1157. If you can on your own, if you want to do for some homework, read a 1157. And it has the sthanivat bhava. As if it is still there. As if it is still there. It has, so this 0 which is there right now, that adeshaha, it is going to act like the sthani. The sthani was the a. So the a was, it is sthanivat bhava. Means with akaravat, it is going to now vartate. But only when it is parasin pura vidhau, when you are going to cross over, only it does that. So that 1157 is the important sutram. That is going to stop the, that 1157 is going to stop the Uganta Laghupatasya cha 7386. So we end up with the dhatu, the new dhatu, as only being sukhi and not sokhi. So it becomes sukhi, the new dhatu. Why is it new dhatu? Because of sanadyanta dhatavaha. All is derived, because we need a dhatu status for the new dhatu, that sukha plus ni. We need to get a dhatu sanya for that samudaya. Otherwise we cannot decline it, we cannot do anything, because everything is dhato, 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 dhato. So we cannot make any participle form or any verbal form until we get a new dhatu sanya for sukhi. So that is by sanadjanta dhatu. When Panini describes all these derived dhatus, at the end of that he says sanadjanta dhatavaha. So not only the dhatu part of dhatus, but these derived dhatus, what are called as sadhita dhatus, they will also take the dhatu sanya by 3132. I know a lot of new concepts today, but I'll just mention these. We'll repeat them again at some point. So if you don't understand them all, don't worry about it. Sanadhyanta dhatavaha by 3132, because all this pratyaya, gives it the dhatu sanya. So it has a dhatu sanya, even though the sukhi was not in dhatu patha. Dhatu patha only had the sukha. So we need to get a dhatu sanya for this one also, so that we can now start making participles, or even using it in the kriyapada rupena as a verb. So dhatu sanya. And then, as Malinatha says, we use the sukhi plus ach. Sukhi plus ach. And then let's go to the Malinatha's commentary. I'd like to finish this verse today with your permission, a little bit over time. But in the Dhatu Padakam, what does he say? He says, Sukhayanti iti sukhani, pachadyach. So these are, so sukham is an adjective for someone who makes somebody happy. Sukhayanti sukhani. So what he's trying to tell you is that normally sukham is a neuter noun, meaning happiness. That's not what we have here. Here he's creating an adjective, sukham, sukha really, and now this will be the one who pleases, one who makes happy, sukham. So sukhayanti iti sukhani. So it's now going to be this creates adjectives. Now how do you finish this final form now? Anybody in the class? Sukhi plus ach. Why not? What happens to the e? What happens to the e? Because we want the form sukham like vanam vane vanani. Okay, Kartika Sutram, I'm impressed. Yes, Kartika Sutram, yes. Yes, Kartik.
Oh no, I don't know the sutram. The niche actually drops, right, in some
Neranti.
Neraniti, very good. Yes. So between Kartik and Kalpesha, Anyunya Sahayena Uttaram Praptam. By mutual collaboration, we got the answer 6451, Neraniti. Nehe Aniti. So, Nehe Anidadav Ardhadhatuke Pare Lopasyad. So when you have Pratyay which is Ardhadhatuka, notice the numbers here by the way. 6451 is in the section Ardhadhatuke. So was 6448, the Atolopaha. So I'm hoping at some point you can start to get a hang of these numbers. So 6451 is Neraniti. So Nehe Aniti. So Anidadav Ardhadhatuke Ne Lopasyad. That drops the niche for us. So it drops the niche, basically the E drops. And then you just join it, make it Sukha. That's how I only got Sukha. And then he's making a samasa, so this Sukha looks like a word is Sukitru almost. Sukita, one who pleases, you know. So the same meaning. So then they are the ones, so this Shruti Nam Sukhani. Shruti is basically Karanam. So they are the pleasers of the ears. So these chirpings of the birds were pleasing to the ears. So basically ear pleasers is what it is. So Shruti Nam Sukhani is making a Shashita Purusha for you because like we say Karya Karta, So Karyasya Karta, Karya Karta. So Shruti Nam Sukhani. Same thing. The pleaser, so doer of the job is Karya Karta. So pleaser of the ears is Shruti Nam. So once you get the Pachadyach, then so that's why so Muninatha very kindly walks us through the whole thing for us. He makes the Pachadyach for us, so we know we can adjectival form Kartari Arthe, and then he makes this Shashita Purusha. This commentary is beautiful, isn't it? So we don't get lost, Shruti Nam Sukhani. Shruti Sukhi, qualifying Kujitaihi, adjective. So again Sishe Vire. So the birds served Lakshmana and Lakshmanaha and Shri Rama Lakshmanaha, Rama Lakshmana, by their chirping, which are very pleasing to the ears. Now the next one he gives no commentary, and look at what he's done by the way. He says Taihi Kujitaihi. So it's adjective. He also made that. He's being very kind to us now because he made that also made sure you understand that this form is adjectival to Kujitaihi. Okay, so Taihi Kujitaihi. So that's what he's trying to tell you over here. Okay, and then Vayavaha Sishevire is the Vayu is winds. The winds or the breezes, they also serve Lama Lakshmana. By what? Is Surabhi Pushpa Renu Bhihi. Surabhi is an adjective, means fragrant. Pushpa Renu Bhihi. Pushpa Renu is the pollen. By this fragrant, these pollen of the flowers. The winds also served Rama and Lakshmana. No commentary on that. So Vayavaha, because we should know there's nothing special going on here. Surabhi Pushpa Renubhihi. So if you want to do samasa, so Pushpanam Renubhihi. So the pollen of the flowers. And then make a karma dhareha. Surabhi Renubhihi. But the fragrant pollen of the flowers. Last one is Jaladaha. This is the same jalam dadati jaladaha, same sutra which we use today. Ato upasarge kaha. Instead of using the dhatu trai, we can use the dhatu da, which already has the adanta dhatu. So this one which we did over here, by the way, we can repeat the same thing down here now. So this one which we did by the, I didn't put the number here. Okay, I'm sorry. I should put the number here. Okay. Okay, I put the number here. I think it was what 323, right? 323. Because the ato nupasarge kaha which we used before, that was 323. Ato nupasarge kaha. And then so we can use the same thing. Jalam dadati jaladaha. So we take this same thing which we had here, and instead of taking the, I should take this one probably. I should put the number here 323. So this should have come here itself, because when we brought the pratyaya ka, then only we should have put the 323. So we can use the same one here again and make it jala plus da plus ka, and the same atolo paiticha 6464. So we can then do the jalada. So jala plus plus da plus ka, and jala plus da, and so 323, then 6464 which you had before ato lopa iticha. Again, we don't have time in the class to go in detail in the sutras, but hopefully we have given you enough of pointers to, if you can want to do on your own, you can look up these numbers and fill in the gaps, if you will. 6464 jaladaha. So jaladaha can be it means a cloud in this case. Okay, could mean the monsoon also. Anything which gives water, jaladaha. Like I think in English, in Hindi, we bolte jaldi jaldi karo, do something quickly, jaldi jaldi. Jalada, like clouds move very fast. I think that this jaladi in Hindi came from the jalada. Means the clouds, very quickly do something jaldi. Anyway, okay, that's my own thinking. I think it's correct, but probably. Okay, so let's see what else is left behind now. So we have the jaladaha, then sishe vire chayaya. Very simple. Chaya means by the shade. So the clouds serve them by giving them shade. And he says sishe vire iti sarvatra sambadhyate. Get used to this expression, by the way. Sarvatra sambadhyate will be used commonly when one thing it does double duty or multiple duty. Then when one term sarvatra sambadhyate, it connects to all of these. So therefore we have this connecting everywhere. So jaladaha sishe vire, saram sishe vire, patatrinaha sishe vire, and vayavaha sishe vire. Let's finish it off, finish the class. We'll go to the translation. Who wants to take it for me? This I think Anup you can definitely do for us. We can do this for so, Anup, are you there? Maybe not there. Okay, who can do it for us? Let's see, somebody new.
It's me a while to put the headset. Yeah.
Vasu can do it for us. Let's see. Okay, Vasu.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I think it's probably the word now is not there. Now it's probably like
Yeah.
We'll leave it for time being. The lake. What is the lakes?
Saramsi.
Saramsi.
Yeah.
With their sweet waters. Oh, sorry, with their sweet. Let's do that. Sweet.
Rasavidha.
Rasavadbhi.
Rasavadbhi.
Maybe that really means tasty. Rasa like means taste. We have the taste is sweet.
Yeah.
Then waters is
Ambubhi.
Ambubhi. And then you're going to take the verb at the end. Then the birds. What is birds?
Kujitaihi.
No, birds is patatrinaha.
Patatrinaha.
Patatrinaha is birds.
Patatrinaha.
And then with their songs is what?
Kujitaihi.
Kujitai. And the pleasant?
Shruti Sukaihi.
Shruti Sukhaihi. Again, notice how he made a noun, okay? Songs. Kujitaihi. Then the winds is?
Vayavaha.
Then with the fragrant dust of flowers.
Suravi. Pushpa Renu.
Renubhihi.
Renubhihi.
That's it, yeah. The clouds is?
Jaladaha
Jaladaha with shade.
Chayaya
Chayaya.
Chayaya
Chayaya. Then waited upon.
Shishevire
Sishevire. And them.
Tau.
Tau Sishevire. Okay. Sorry, we're a little bit over time today, but I at least want to finish. I didn't want to be in the middle of shloka. I didn't want to stop. So let's finish the class and stay back for questions. Ramo Rajamanisada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Vyata Nishachara Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Raman Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rameshittale Sada Bhautame Bho Rama Mamuddhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Varanana Onnama Iti. Okay, any questions? We'll edit the document and post it, okay? So Kalpesh ji is very kindly doing all that for us. So we will edit the document for you. Any other questions? No. So Kalpesh ji, I will, Karthik has a question, yeah. Yes, Karthik.
Satish ji, this is a slightly unrelated question to the current class. Like I was trying to derive the form Abravit when I was looking at the Tinganta forms and I was seeing if I can find rules.
Yes.
So I didn't know how that brew became bravi. Meaning I got the guna that made it bro, but I didn't know how to make it bravi. Is there any special rule there?
Yes, it's bro. Did you have the Bhaimi Vakya?
No, I don't. I was just looking through that Ajita Krishnan's site and I was just trying to find out some.
No, you send me your address and I'll mail you the Bhaimi Vakya. You must have that. At your level, you know Hindi reasonably well? You know Hindi?
Yeah, I know Hindi.
Then you send me your address. I'll mail you the Bhaimi Vakya. You must have that. You must.
Okay.
You cannot do without it. You cannot do without it. So I'll mail it to you. Because Kalpesh has bought some for India for us. I have some extra. I'll mail it to you. And you can look in the volume 2. I'll give you Sutram right now. But you can look at volume 2. Volume 2 is a masterpiece. Really a masterpiece. If you look at the volume 2 of Bhaimi, you will be, Tinganta Samrat also will be now. You're already a Visarga Sandhi Samrat. You can also get the territory of Tinganta Samrat, we can also make you. So the Bruva Eat is the Sutram. Bruva Eat, here it is. 7th Eat. Bruva Eat, okay? So the Bro plus E will become Bravi.
Okay.
So that as the Anuvritti is coming down from Bruva Eat. So that requires this Piti Sarvadhatuke.
Okay.
Piti Sarvadhatuke. So tip is a Pit Pratya and Piti Sarvadhatuke.
Okay.
And the Anuvritti is coming. So, and I think it's Hali also, okay? Bruva Eat. Hali.
Okay.
Piti, Hali, Piti, Sarvadhatuke. So send me your address and mail you the Bhaimi Vakya, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? I think we can stop the recording now. And okay. So Shubharatri, I will post the document shortly. And thank you for Kalpesh ji and all the others for your help. So Kalpesh ji, all set?
Yes, all set. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, Shubharatri.